every individual that had signed up for the Code Red, the phone-in system, that it would be a different scene when they woke up on Wednesday morning. This is the first time this new system, which has been implemented through E91 funding, had been used. I believe it has been utilized 2 or 3 times, first announcing the flood, then announcing later the water situation. I believe we've had 2 announcements of those. Again, this is a new system that we have never had before, but hopefully did a much better job than we have ever been able to do in communicating. For those of you who are not yet signed up for Code Red, we hope we don't ever need it again, but I would certainly recommend that you go on the city website and get yourself signed in for that. We don't use it to cry wolf. We use it simply to notify people about what is impending disaster. So that is a thumbnail synopsis of what we have seen behind the scenes here going on in City Hall 24 hours a day. Likewise, we've had the flood hotline that has been activated 24 hours a day and staffed 24 hours a day. It is still operating, and again, I will remind you, the number for that is 239-5670. It is still being staffed. At some point, we will keep it on, but probably resort to a recorded message. But it has been staffed with a human being since early Wednesday morning. I'd like to also compliment the tremendous number of volunteers that we have had in this process. Again, an outpouring that unlike anything that we've ever needed before, but I think also unlike anything that we've ever seen. Ames residents and those of surrounding communities have indeed come full force to offer great assistance. RSVP has done yeoman effort in phoning to staff all of the water distribution sites. Initially, staff, I should back up, sandbagging. We almost have forgotten now that our first effort was sandbagging and them doing this. They have been staffing the phones and getting volunteers for that. The Red Cross activated its services. We've had countless number of local volunteers, and again here I would certainly like to also recognize that Iowa State University and Iowa State University students have turned out in full force for these volunteer efforts. So again, we can't offer enough thanks on that. Then I'd like to tell you a little bit personally about what the mayor has seen and has learned in the last few days. My phone has been flooded with, I guess that's not a good term, is it? My phone has been ringing constantly with offers from local governments around Iowa and around the Midwest offering to assist, and some of the assistance has been taken in bringing in their resources to help us during that time. You all know that we have received a good deal of national media attention, and once that started, we began having calls literally from all over the country, from Illinois, from Minnesota, from Oregon, shipping in, from Iowa, shipping in voluntarily semi-loads of water to distribute. And so that became a very gratifying experience for all of us. And indeed, I think it's something that we can say we have all been in together. The cooperation is unlike anything I have ever seen, and I think we have operated this with and have seen a minimum amount of grousing. I'd like to give you an example of just the opposite. There was in our office a couple of days ago a lady who's probably seen as many birthdays as I have, who came into the office living in a mobile home, obviously very shattered, having not experienced these kinds of things before. Rather than expressing concern for her particular issue, she said, "I've always watched national disasters on television. Now I'll have more sympathy for what other people are going through." And we have heard this over and over. Personally also, I've kind of had a crash course in how you deal with national media. The bottom line think, on that is one of the questions that I was asked in getting these calls from networks around the country was, how many serious injuries or deaths were there in this disaster? So when we stop to assess what has gone on, I think that is the answer. All of this has been certainly disaster. It's ranged from inconvenience to something that we're going to spend a long time in recovering on, but I think we can be very pleased that serious deaths and injuries were not part of our operation. So with that, I thank you all for the attention that you've given us this week, and at this point, I'm very happy to say this will be our final press conference on this subject. Thank you for coming.